Welcome to the Tim Booker channel, spreading the wisdom of virtue. Wishing you a pleasant listening experience. Today, I'd like to talk to you about a book called Social Interest. The author is the renowned psychologist Alfred Adler. He passed away in 1937, almost 80 years ago. During his lifetime, he worked with Freud for a while. They were both friends and competitors, but eventually, their theories clashed, leading them to part ways. They each developed their own theoretical schools. The branch of psychology that Adler created is known as individual psychology, which is considered the precursor to the now widely popular field of social psychology. Social psychology is a familiar subject in universities, whether as a required or elective course. Its primary focus is on the psychological activities of individuals under the influence of their social environment, which sets it apart from Freud's school of thought. Adler paid more attention to the wholeness of a person's personality, unlike Freud, who divided it into the ego, id, and superego. This book was published after Adler's passing, and it compiles the significant thoughts from his entire life. It addresses various topics, such as how to deal with feelings of inferiority, the influence of family on a child, how to cultivate social interest, and how to integrate into society. The book provides detailed explanations for these issues. If you often find yourself afraid to speak with strangers, feeling like you don't fit in with your surroundings, or lacking a sense of security, according to Adler, these feelings likely stem from influences in your childhood. Now, I will discuss the three most important aspects of Adler's thoughts: our relationship with the world, the origins of inferiority, and how to increase social interest. This will give you a glimpse into the content of this book. Now let's take a look at the first point, our relationship with the world. Adler believed that every action we take in our lives is a performance for others. Within this performance, it includes our survival patterns and lifestyle. How you perceive the world around you will lead to corresponding reactions and the formation of a particular lifestyle. He thought that early life patterns are largely established by the age of 3 to 5. Therefore, we can predict a child's future lifestyle based on their behavior as a child. The author summarizes 4 common lifestyle patterns. 1. Dominant ruling type. As the name suggests, these individuals enjoy dominating and controlling others. They seek satisfaction through controlling others and believe that if they can control someone, it demonstrates their superiority. For example, a child throwing a tantrum on the street to manipulate their mother into buying them snacks is a manifestation of this type. Even though it may not involve physical force, this behavior is an attempt to control the mother. 2. Receiving type. These people are passive in everything they do and never take initiative. They prefer others to arrange everything for them and wait for things to be handed to them. For example, in a group eating hot pot, they'll rely on others to do all the work, constantly asking if the food is cooked, but rarely helping themselves. 3. Avoiding type. This type lacks confidence and avoids facing life's problems. When problems arise, they tend to evade them and often prioritize saving face. For example, they might avoid taking on challenging projects because they fear failure and the embarrassment that comes with it. 4. Socially interested type. These individuals can collaborate with others and exhibit pro-social behaviors. They typically grow up in a family where family members understand and respect each other, creating a harmonious atmosphere. People with this lifestyle enjoy interacting with others, are caring, and considerate of others' feelings. This is considered the healthiest lifestyle according to the author. These 4 behavioral styles may not show clear differences in everyday situations, but they become evident when facing difficulties. The first 3 types tend to avoid challenges and make excuses, while the 4th type confronts challenges as opportunities. These lifestyle patterns are largely formed in early childhood through interactions with family members. Part 2, Feelings of Inferiority and the Pursuit of Superiority. In our interactions with the world, it's inevitable that we'll encounter various hardships. When faced with hardships, people have different ways of coping. How do these differences in coping strategies arise? Adler believed it primarily stemmed from the desire for superiority and resistance to feelings of inferiority. Feelings of inferiority and the pursuit of superiority are interlinked. Most of us, to some extent, experience feelings of inferiority. For example, when we see someone exceptionally outstanding, we might feel that we are far from their level. Similarly, encountering an expert in a particular field may make us feel inadequate. However, this is not necessarily a negative thing. These feelings push us to move beyond our current imperfections toward becoming better and more powerful versions of ourselves. In this sense, inferiority can actually be a driving force for personal growth. Feelings of inferiority come in two degrees. There's a mild sense of inferiority, and then there's a more severe condition known as an inferiority complex. The former is a common and complex emotion experienced by all individuals. It may be more pronounced when we confront tasks or situations we are not skilled at or familiar with. However, this feeling is absent when we engage in activities we excel at. For instance, we may feel nervous and believe we're not good enough to speak to someone we have a crush on, but we can engage in regular conversations with friends. Experiencing mild inferiority does not indicate an inferiority complex. An inferiority complex is an excessive and pathological sense of inferiority. It's like feeling incapable and inadequate in almost everything you do. In daily life, only a very small percentage of people genuinely suffer from an inferiority complex, requiring psychological counseling. So, when we often refer to the first type, mild inferiority, it's a natural response when certain individuals or circumstances disrupt our psychological balance. For instance, during an end-of-year assessment, if all your colleagues in the department receive an A, and you get a C, this discrepancy can shatter your psychological equilibrium and make you feel awkward. When we experience feelings of inferiority and emotional distress, we can transform them into a driving force for self-improvement. The process usually involves the following steps. First, a psychological balance is disrupted, resulting in feelings of inferiority. Then, these feelings are countered through compensation, which involves building a sense of superiority to offset the inferiority complex. There are two main methods of compensation. One is determined effort to improve in areas of perceived weakness, such as intense training. The other is compensation from another angle, such as choosing to engage in activities that don't require extensive interaction with others, like research or creative work. However, while compensation can be a positive approach, there is a possibility of it going to extremes. One extreme is the self-defeating withdrawal response, where individuals become excessively self-critical and shun challenges. The other extreme is the overcompensation response, where people exaggerate their success or strengths in one aspect to mask their true feelings of inferiority. This does not involve addressing one's problems but rather seeks to prove oneself through other means. For example, individuals addicted to video games may be compensating for difficulties in learning and work by immersing themselves in a virtual world where they can gain achievements and rewards. Similarly, students who engage in frequent fights at school may do so to acquire a false sense of superiority and assertiveness. In The Great Gatsby, Gatsby's pursuit of excellence is driven by his feelings of inferiority, particularly in the presence of his girlfriend. After achieving success, he resorts to ostentatious extravagance to mask his inner sense of inadequacy. Even when his ideal woman reappears, he still feels humble, unable to treat the person he loves as an equal. In Adler's words, such actions to seek superiority are often directed towards the less useful aspects of life, while the actual problems are concealed or left unaddressed. The withdrawal response is a reaction when one discovers their shortcomings but fails to make amends, leading to self-deprecation. This eventually transforms feelings of inferiority into an inferiority complex. Feelings of inferiority are closely related to our childhood experiences, particularly how parents treated us. A nurturing and caring environment makes it less likely for children to feel imbalanced and worthless. Conversely, neglect and indifference can easily lead to feelings of inferiority. Excessive pampering by parents can also lead to feelings of inferiority when children face adversity or challenges. For instance, if a child's mother often says, "Look at how well John next door is doing in his studies," the child may develop feelings of inferiority, thinking they are not good enough and that their mother no longer loves them. However, if the mother says, "Even though John next door is doing well in his studies, you are working hard, and I believe in your abilities," the child might develop a sense of superiority, knowing they are loved by their mother and that they can excel with effort. Many of the strange behaviors resulting from feelings of inferiority can be traced back to a lack of love. Unfortunately, we cannot choose our childhood environment, and not all parents provide the correct guidance for their children. They often do what they believe is best. Once individuals with feelings of inferiority recognize this, they can try to keep themselves busy and build self-confidence through genuine achievements. In matters of inferiority, you are your best savior because others cannot do it for you. Now, let's explore how to pursue excellence. Innately, humans possess feelings of inferiority and an instinct to strive for superiority. However, there are two types of superiority: social interest-related and individual pursuit-related. Adler strongly emphasizes the role of social culture in personal development, believing that striving for social interest-related superiority is genuine excellence. Even though we are independent individuals, we cannot detach ourselves from society. Our accomplishments are built upon the existing resources within society. This form of superiority involves comparing oneself, recognizing progress, and acknowledging one's contribution to society. On the other hand, individual pursuit-related superiority is a simplistic way of seeking superiority. It involves gaining pleasure through suppressing others or seeking attention through flaunting one's achievements. It's about putting others down, making them unhappy, ignoring their needs, and disregarding their feelings. This method is often driven by a superiority complex, the need to be the center of attention, and the desire to make others feel inferior and unhappy. In summary, striving for social interest-related superiority involves contributing to society, comparing oneself positively to previous versions, and gaining respect from others. On the contrary, seeking individual pursuit-related superiority is often based on the need to stand out and gain attention by making others feel inferior or unhappy. We've discussed the concepts of inferiority and superiority, how to utilize feelings of inferiority, and the correct way to pursue excellence. By mastering these concepts, we can achieve psychological balance. This is a fundamental aspect of Adler's philosophy, as elaborated in his famous work, The Neurotic Constitution, which delves into these psychological processes. If you're grappling with these issues, I recommend reading this book, as it can be highly beneficial in overcoming feelings of inferiority and building genuine self-confidence. Now, let's delve into another crucial concept in Adler's philosophy: social interest. According to Adler, the root cause of any pathological psychological condition is a lack of social interest. Conditions like loneliness, insecurity, habitual avoidance, criminal behavior, or drug addiction all stem from a person's unwillingness to engage with society. But what exactly is social interest? Adler argues that it encompasses a broad spectrum, including cooperation, mutual assistance, interpersonal relationships, and enthusiasm, positive elements that demonstrate an individual's acknowledgement of their role in society and their willingness to participate in communal activities rather than leading a narrow, self-centered life. Adler suggests that the initial source of social interest is the mother. During the early stages of infancy, a child's most significant interactions are with the mother. If a mother provides a degree of freedom and appropriate care, the child is more likely to develop a correct form of social interest. On the other hand, excessive pampering can negatively impact a child's resilience and independence. For example, it's been reported that some college students send their dirty laundry home via express delivery for cleaning and then have it sent back to them. This extreme coddling can lead to a lack of interest in life, difficulty experiencing the joy of achieving goals, and an inability to engage in social activities, making it easier for such individuals to become socially marginalized. Neglect is another hindrance to social interest. When people are neglected, they may feel worthless, becoming self-deprecating or resorting to unconventional behaviors to attract attention. For instance, children who are habitually ill may do so because it guarantees them attention from others. Those frequently overlooked often lack a sense of presence and are easily enticed by captivating stimuli, such as video games. So, how can one cultivate social interest? Adler highlights that the three major facets of life, work, daily living, and love, are closely related to the development of social interest. When these aspects are well balanced, it becomes easier to attain a healthy sense of social interest. First, consider work. If you have a job you enjoy, it will provide a sense of value in contributing to society, making your work feel more like a hobby. Conversely, if you dislike your job, it can lead to a disheartening routine and diminish your sense of purpose. Daily living involves participating in various social activities, such as engaging in hobbies, interacting with friends, and improving your skills. These activities help you acquire new competencies and provide opportunities to meet new people. Lastly, love and relationships need no introduction. The presence of someone you care about naturally enhances your well-being. Adler offers 3 suggestions to identify a reliable partner. 1. Someone who maintains long-lasting friendships can be more trustworthy. 2. A person who is genuinely enthusiastic about their work tends to have a brighter future. 3. Someone more interested in their partner than themselves is likely to be a caring individual. Furthermore, several factors can hinder the development of social interest, such as physiological defects and neglect. People with physiological defects often experience societal biases, making them susceptible to external influences unless they have a strong sense of self. Similarly, neglect can lead to feelings of worthlessness and, consequently, self-deprecation or peculiar behaviors to gain attention. Adler also introduces the idea that birth order within a family can affect one's social interest. For example, the eldest child is often responsible for leading and caring for their younger siblings, which can foster leadership and a sense of responsibility. Middle children, with older and younger siblings, tend to be more adept at interpersonal relationships due to their experiences. Meanwhile, the youngest child, often indulged, may develop a more outgoing and humorous personality. Thus, one's early behavioral style influences their later life. However, it's essential to note that these characteristics can change through self-awareness, self-improvement, and self-healing. In conclusion, Adler's philosophy offers the idea that a lack of social interest is at the root of many psychological issues. Balancing the three major aspects of life, work, daily living, and love, plays a significant role in the development of healthy social interest. Recognizing one's personality style and potential sources of discomfort can lead to positive changes in personal growth, ultimately allowing individuals to heal themselves. Alright, let's summarize. In this book, the author primarily discusses how to adjust our relationships with ourselves and the world. Due to differences in early family upbringing, there are roughly 4 common lifestyle styles. Throughout our lives, we tend to avoid feelings of inferiority and strive for superiority. However, inferiority isn't as frightening as we might think, it can actually drive us to progress. We just need to pursue superiority using the correct methods. Lastly, it's crucial to maintain an interest in society, others, and work in our professional, personal, and romantic lives. This way, the world becomes a place filled with enjoyment, and we can interact more effectively with society. That's all for this book. I've compiled more information for you in the text document. You can access it by clicking the text. Adler's book isn't ideal for speed reading because it requires a slow and thoughtful exploration of his insights into human nature. If you have some psychological barriers or find yourself repeatedly engaged in self-destructive behaviors, this book can serve as a guiding light to help you overcome patterns that may have developed since childhood. Congratulations on finishing another book. Thank you for your support and attention. Please subscribe to the Tim Booker Channel audiobook channel, like, and share with your family and friends. Wisdom is worth spreading, so let's embark on a brighter future together. Thank you, and goodbye.